Hey people, so I'm back again with another video. Today, I'm not sure what the title is going to be for this video because I haven't yet decided exactly what I'm going to focus on, but we'll see at the end of the video. So anyway, I wanted to talk about what occurred to me the other night when I was sleeping. I was sleeping and I could hear the voices in my head. And then I realized, obviously, that I wasn't hearing those voices with my ears. I was hearing the voices of my mind. And then I realized, although it's obvious, you just don't take it into consideration, that half of what I hear is actually in my head and not by my ears. So I was curious as to how some people would call it mental illness. I personally don't believe that any mental illness that exists is not caused without technology and interference from outside sources. So I wanted to understand how it was possible, because we hear things thrown around like V2K, which is it's B2K, sorry. So brain to skull technology, what they use to make you hear voices. Because I could hear the voices and they were commenting on like things that I was doing, things that they were doing. And I can definitely tell that there is some sort of outside force involved in my my targeting. So I do consider myself a targeted individual. And so I wanted to go further into that and figure out like, how was this happening? So I woke up, this was like in the middle of the night. I woke up, I think it was like 3 a.m. actually. I woke up, took my laptop, and I started to do some research into the topic because I wanted to understand. You hear things thrown around like B2K, which is brain to skull technology, but how does it work? There's no emphasis from anyone who's ever talked about it, at least as far as I'm concerned, from what I've heard, who discuss how it works, what the technology is used for, how it's used, what it consists of. So I wanted to shed a light on that today. So when I started to type it when I went online and I typed in on the internet, I typed in brainwave technology because I realized that if I'm hearing it with my brain, they must be on the same wavelength as my thoughts are, because I can hear my own thoughts. So they must be on that same frequency. So I typed in brainwave technology and I came across a website which was actually very interesting, and it talked about brainwaves and how they're using them to influence people's abilities in a sense. So they're allowing people to channel different brainwaves in order to achieve skills like enhanced intelligence or better sleep, or like ability to study easier or more relaxed or more creativity. So I will probably try and just like scan through this website here. Now I do not endorse this website. Now this website is trying to sell you a course or a CD that helps you to enhance or activate your certain areas of your brain in order to achieve higher levels of skills. So as I said, either like doing better in your studies, being more intelligent, being able to sleep better, be able to be more creative as well. So I went through this. So I started off my research here on that website, and then I'm just referring to my notes because I wrote down my line of thought, and I came across brain technology, and I just want to highlight that there are different types of brain waves that we experience. So there is, let me just refer to my laptop. There is the alpha wave, and that brainwaves are present when you are awake but relaxed and not processing much information. That's the alpha wave. We also go into the theta wave as well, and that is from 4 to 7.5 hertz. Brainwaves increase during deep meditation and light sleep, so including REM dream state. And then there is delta, and delta is 0.5 to 4 hertz. And brainwaves are present in deep dreamless sleep and in very deep transcendental meditation where awareness is completely detached. And then there's gamma waves, and gamma waves are above 29 hertz. And brainwaves are thought to be involved with bursts of insight and high levels of information processing. So you can enhance, apparently, according to this website, they can enhance each of these waves in order to achieve higher insight into things. You can either be more creative, be more intelligent. Like, you can tap into these type of things. So I'm started off there, and then I moved on to, because I was having nightmares. Now, I told you my targeting has changed. And so the type of targeting that I receive now are nightmares. And there is a creature, like an entity, and it kind of reminds me of Stranger Things. Yeah, this creature kind of latches onto me in my sleep, and I'm always constantly battling this thing. And it's like dark, it's a dark entity. I either have that dream or I have like an incubus dream. So if you don't know what incubus dream is, like entities that try to sleep with you when you're asleep. And they're meant to be like in religious forms, demons. And so I have those kind of dreams, and they kind of attack me every day. And most of the time I'm fighting I'm trying to fight these things. So yeah, these are the dreams I'm having. This is a very, I'm going to be very brief about it because I want to discuss why I understand the technology used to hear voices, but and to affect your body. But I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, that's the type of targeting that I'm receiving more nowadays. I still hear voices as well. I had an experience of feeling sensations around my body like I used to feel before for a short instance. That's when I went down on my medication. But now that I've gone up again, I can still hear the voices. And I'm finding that no matter what, like, I can still hear the voices. They're still there and they're still present. So anyway, I wanted to go into more about what I was researched. So I researched, is it possible that things could be living in the brainwave, in the brain waves, the level of where your brains connect to things, because that's how they'll be able to access my dreams and cause me to have these scary experiences. So I did research, and I found a website that referenced Druid activities. So apparently the Druids, which is again witches, as I've referred to in the previous video that I've done before, Druids, they use different states of mind in order to enhance their abilities. So that's what witches do. And I've told you before in previous video that witches try to control people. People who are trying to control other people are witches. Whether they know it or not, that's the intent. That's what a witch is. Somebody who uses their intentions or focuses on other people and tries to control them. Because the average person is not interested or concerned about other people. They're more concerned about themselves and achieving what they want in life. But somebody who's focused solely on manipulating other people, that is a witch. So anyway, Druids use the different states of mind, different brain states, in order to enhance their ability to control and influence people. I will reference that website that I saw that on in the subscription box. And then I went on to research how brainwaves look like. So that didn't bring much information to me and didn't lead me anywhere, but I was just interested to see the appearance of what if somebody was hacking into somebody's brainwaves, how would it look like to them on a system? And I could only find on our general computer, how it would look like on a general computer. But I know that the army, for example, the military have far more advanced technology than we are exposed to. All those airships that you see, not airships, alien crafts that you see, those objects that kind of flicker from one place to another and can go anti-gravity and all those type of things, I believe that's the army. I don't believe in that it's aliens. I'm not a big fan in the belief of aliens. It's possible that they exist, but I'm not the biggest supporter of that belief system. I do believe that the military do, though, however, have technology that would be considered to be alien, and therefore that's how advanced their technology has become, in my opinion. And so therefore that's why I believe that they have a more advanced way of seeing and understanding things. And obviously they have mapped the human brain by now. They know what you're thinking with just using your brainwaves. It's as simple as, if they can detect a brainwave and they'll make somebody think of a word like "what," for example, and when they say that, they will record what their brain is saying when you say the word "what," and whenever that comes up, they'll know that you're saying "what" when you're thinking. So it's as simple as that. Why would they not have done the whole vocabulary by now? So now they can record and understand what you're thinking. So that's why I definitely believe that the military and secret services are involved in targeting for 100%. Then I went on to mass surveillance and I looked into that, and I was just interested to find out how was it possible that they could mass surveil millions of people, and I don't know how many people they would have in their force. And I personally believe that they use AI technology now for mass surveillance. And so that's how they can control and influence people on a mass scale. And there was an instance of, I can't remember, I tried to find a video, but I can't find it anymore. There was a guy, he was gay, and he said that he lived in America. I can't remember what part of America it was, but he said that he was hearing voices, and he connected to other TIs, other people who claimed to be hearing voices in his environment. And he found that they were hearing the same voice and the same things were being said to them. So they're using the same technology to hack other different people at different times. Obviously, because the targeted community aren't all connected, we can't compare our stories, so we don't know what is similar between us and what is different. But you'll find that most of us have similar stories. We all talk about similar things happening, similar things being said. So obviously they're using the same system to control and influence each and every one of us and to affect our targeting. And then I wanted to find out, is it possible, for example, for someone to hack into your brainwaves and manipulate you? What I researched and some people were discussing was that the brainwaves, they are too short, or they don't travel far enough. For example, the NSA can hack into every type of radio wave that exists. But somebody asked the question, can the NSA hack into my brain, into my thoughts, using like the technology that they have? And somebody said that our brains, the brain waves that we have don't go far out of our skulls. I don't actually believe that's true. I believe our brain waves do travel past our skulls. And I believe this because there is a technology now that is available, is that magnetic photography, where they can actually detect auras of human beings. And I'll show you pictures of these auras, because these auras show that the magnetic field around us extends out of our body, and so that would consist of the electrical currents of our brain waves. So that definitely means that they can detect our thoughts through outside of us. They don't have to be touching our skin, and they don't have to be in our brains to know that. But then I was wondering, if that's the case, if I presumed that our brain waves weren't long enough to be detected from satellites, for example, that they use in the sky, then they would have to have another method of detecting our brain waves. So obviously, because what I've talked about in the past is nanotechnology, and I'm aware that nanotechnology is in the brain, like it's in our bodies through the dumping of chemicals and nanotechnology in the sky, through the planes, and through them putting it in our foods, on our makeup, and in our sunscreens. We have absorbed now nanotechnology into our systems. So that's one of the ways that they use it. So that we have in our brains nanotechnology which can transfer the information and our thoughts from our minds to them, and that's how they use them to control us. And they send back signals on our brain waves that allow us to hear what they're thinking. So that is what brain to skull technology is. So V2K, that is what effectively it is. It would be technology in our skulls, in our brains, and they're able to detect our brainwaves through that and send other communications via our brainwaves back to us. Now, I believe this is one of the reasons why I can hear other people's thoughts, because I can on occasion hear other people's thoughts, not specifically the thoughts that they're having to themselves, but what the agents on them are saying to them. I can hear that on occasion, not all the time, and I can hear that they change the line of communication to the same sound as their voices. So I hear people's voice, in their own voice, I hear communication happening to people. Now, it happens to me when I'm at work. On occasion, I can hear somebody in my office, when it's completely quiet, talking to themselves, like as if they're talking to themselves, but I know it's not them, it's their handler talking to them. So I'm aware that these things happen, and now that I understand that, it makes so much more sense. So now I understand how V2K actually works, or V2K I think it's called, or voice to skull technology. So voice to skull, yeah, I think I was saying brain to skull before, but I mean voice to skull technology. So this is how it works on that level. So I just wanted to come back and just discuss that so that people can understand how voice to skull actually does work, and just to emphasize and to leave you on that thought, is that they use nanotechnology in our bodies, which they've dumped into our environment, which we have absorbed, that goes to our brains, which send out signals our brain waves, and they can detect what we're thinking because they've already mapped the brain already, and they can send signals back to our brains, connect to our brain waves, and allow us to, and which will allow us to hear voices. And that's how we hear voices, and that's how all people who can hear voices in their heads, that's how it's done. I just wanted to say that, and yeah, and hopefully I'll be back soon with some more videos. So anyway, I hope you all have a safe journey, and thank you for the well wishes. All right, take care, people. Safe journey. Bye.